and welcome to Rolling with Two. I'm Will, and with me is my fellow meeple,
Sarah.
And it's been 6 months since we got started with the Rolling with Two channel, and we figured it was a great time to celebrate. And what better way to do that than
with a series of questions. So Jenna Rose over at the Board Game Garden kind of put out a call out to other content creators to do kind of a tag kind of tabletop thing, which involves a series of questions. And we thought, well, we wanted to do something special for our 6-month anniversary, and having you get to know us a little better seems like a good way to start.
It's a great way to figure out the meeples behind the dice.
Yes. All right. So let's introduce ourselves a little bit more. Will. Well, I guess we already know your name, Will.
Yes.
How about sharing your age and where we live?
I am 42 and live in Sacramento, and I rate myself a 6.
I rate myself a 6 too. I'm 41, although I will be 42 in August, so not much longer. And of course, I live in the same place that Will does because we live together.
I hear it's a nice place.
I hear it's really nice too. All right, let's get on to some more of the hard-hitting questions. Will, what is your favorite childhood board game?
Chess.
Chess.
Yes. When I was 5 years old, my dad thought it was a great time to teach me chess. So that was actually the first game I got exposed to. Learned that and played game after game and lost game after game to him. I didn't beat him till I was in high school.
Well, you had an early life goal there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, for me it was Rummikub, and I actually played it with my grandmother and my aunt. We played a lot of games. I'd visit them almost weekly with my parents, and like I said, we played a lot of different games, but I think Rummikub was my favorite. Even though we played Rummy, the card game, a lot, there was just something, I guess, more tactily fun as a kid with those tiles.
Yeah.
All right. Again, let's move on to even more hard-hitting questions. When did you really get into the board game hobby?
I would say with family weight games and family, like I said, my dad taught me chess at 5. We played a whole lot of Skippo.
Yes.
And then your standard family games, Clue, Life, Monopoly, Racco, Yahtzee.
That kind of stuff.
That kind of stuff.
And then?
And then after that, I got into the harder stuff. You know, the stuff that really takes all your money. Probably in college when Sarah introduced me to Magic the Gathering, role-playing, games like that. I still remember she goes, "All right, you're going to face an orc." And I go, "Great. What is that?"
Yeah, from my perspective, I grew up on fantasy, everything fantasy, and I'd been role-playing a long time by the time that I met Will in college. And it blew my mind that he didn't know what an orc was. I don't think I ever did successfully really tell you what an orc was.
No, she was kind of like, you know, an orc.
Like, you know.
Bad definition.
Oh, I was not good there. So let me answer the question. For me, yes, I did the family games when I was a kid, but I really feel my first phase into the board game hobby was in high school, and that's where I started playing Magic the Gathering and role-playing games. We actually didn't start with D&D. We started with the Palladium Fantasy, which is a percentile system, which has its pros and cons. And then moved into college, played got actually into D&D with Will. Again, taught him role-playing and Magic
and
the Gathering.
orcs.
And orcs. And then my second phase where I really feel like, and that's just for kind of both of us, we really got into the deep end of the board game hobby. And that's when, as married couple, we kind of were moving away from the Magic the Gathering and the role-playing. We were kind of getting a little burnt out. I want to say this was around 2012-ish. I feel dates are not great in my brain.
Right.
But this is when we actually really stopped playing Magic the Gathering, and we had some board games at that point. We traded them in, got the big box of Dominion, got Euro games like Village, and I can't remember other ones, but you know, the really classic Euro-style games. And I feel that's what really sparked me into the diving into the deep end.
I thought it was much later than that. I thought it was more like 2009.
I said 2012.
Oh, 12? Oh, I thought you said 2002.
Oh, no.
No.
No, it wasn't.
2012, yeah.
2012.
That sounds
Okay,
about right.
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right, Will, so what was the first game that you purchased, and do you still own that game?
The first game that I purchased was a wooden chess set that I believe I bought from the Chessmaster store. I was in the chess club in high school, so I wanted a relatively nice set rather than the cheap cardboard plastic pieces that was at school, so had that nice wooden set. Had it for years and years, and it was only recently that I got rid of it because the whole thing was falling apart.
Yeah, unfortunately, we found it again, and it was not in great condition.
Yeah.
I really don't remember. If you've known me for any amount of time, or as you are getting to know me, my memory is not that great. My long-term memory is even worse. But I most likely, for the first game I spent my own money on, it was probably Magic the Gathering, or probably Munchkin, maybe, because I remember in high school we kind of, maybe one of those cheap-ass games. It could have been one of those. I remember we really got into was it Kill Dr. Lucky?
Kill Dr. Lucky.
Yeah, because I had laminated the whole thing when I showed it to you, and because cheap-ass games were just paper and stuff. So
no, I'm pretty sure Magic the Gathering was
it
first.
was probably what I spent my own money on, because I started in high school, and then I taught him in college. Yeah. So, okay. Let's talk about other hobbies that we have. Will, do we have any other hobbies here?
Yes. I especially am into Lego.
Yep.
I am so much into Lego that I am a regular contributor on the brickblogger.com. I will basically have a series called The Brick Breakdown where I take sets and I talk about the various techniques and building techniques in there that people can use. That set as an example of how to learn and become a better builder.
Yep. And I'm in there with him with the Lego. I really enjoy building. Something that's very different from other people is we do a lot of our activities together because I'm his eyes with his severe vision issues. So when we get a Lego set, I give him the bags for the first phase. He'll actually sort them by piece type because he can feel the difference between the shapes of the pieces. He gets to know what's in the set. Then I take the instructions, and I hand him pieces, the right color and everything for the step. And then I get the pleasure of verbally trying to tell him where to put it in the build. Sometimes I am more successful than other times.
Put the thing next to the thing.
Yes, I do.
On the thing.
Oh, I say that. It is surprising how often he actually understands what I'm saying.
I speak Sarah.
Yes. So other than Lego that we share together, video games are another thing. I do play some on my own, but we love to play the role-playing, what they call the JRPGs, the Japanese role-playing games. They're usually turn-based because I'm terrible at real time. And it allows him to enjoy the story, help with the tactical decisions. So as I like to joke, he's the brain and I'm the brawn. So there's always that. Those are our two main other hobbies. All right, so this was an interesting question. What is your breakthrough game?
For me, the breakthrough game has to be Magic the Gathering. I don't play it anymore, but it was the first time that showed me there was a game system in which you could actually play all different styles of play in the same common space and have a language that allowed everybody to interact with it. Whether or not you're a turtler, or you build up big things, or you're very aggressive in your style, or you like a lot of control, whatever your play style was, it was in Magic the Gathering, and that's where I felt my breakthrough. In fact, a lot of times when I design games or game designs, I will think back to Magic the Gathering to try to figure out, does it have all the play styles that I want to be present in this game? Right,
and that was a big, core idea for Project Dreamscape for you, was those card abilities really sparked that different play styles and stuff like that. This one's a harder one for me because yes, I did role-playing first, and yes, I did Magic the Gathering, and those two will forever really shape me as a gamer, and that I love theme with the stories and things like that, and I like the different play styles. But I really think it was a combination between Dominion and Village. Village is where I really got my love of the high strategy, low luck, what they typically call Euro games. And that is exactly how I came up with my username for Twitter, which is where most people know me as Eurogamer Girl, because I loved Euro games. And I still do. I still love that live and die by your brain type of thing. But Dominion brought, I guess, that next evolution of Magic the Gathering for me, because my frustration with Magic was pre-constructing decks. Dominion then put the whole game was make your deck as you play. You all start off at the same level, and it's just who can utilize the different mechanisms, not necessarily better, because you could have different mechanisms and both players do well, but it was that prove yourself all at the same time type of thing, I think.
Yeah.
So those were, I think, for me. All right, so what is a theme that will always draw you in, Will?
For me, I like the sci-fi space theme. Throw me a spaceship, and I'll be following it and go, ooh, it's so pretty, rocket ship.
And on kind of, some people say the flip coin of sci-fi is I prefer the more fantastical. Give me a magic system, give me magical creatures. I just want things to be shiny and pretty and explode in multicolors and things like that. All right, moving on, favorite mechanisms.
For me, it has to be a game that involves tableau building, where what you build usually is represented by cards, but can be tiles. But put that all in front of you to give you abilities. They're a solid foundation, and I can see my strategy building from there. So I absolutely love tableau building.
And I think I'm kind of in a similar vein, but I focus more on the engine building. And for me, I don't care if it's a deck, a bag, or dice, or tiles. I like those combos. And again, I think it comes from like Dominion and a lot of roll and writes now, that combo-rificness and that having those big turns. So would it be
not an engine builder, but a combo builder?
I guess that is more. Although, I mean, I guess I'm drawn towards games that say engine building because I've seen people use engine building when they really mean combo building. It's a kind of gray area, if you ask me. But I like doing something that lets me do something else, that lets me do something else, and I can just see these little explosions. I feel like I'm in an exploding mood right now. I don't know.
She's a narcissist.
Okay, yes. So I guess the flip on that is, what do you not like, or what aren't you good at for mechanisms?
Visual puzzles.
Yeah.
I can't see very good, and so I have no truck with visual puzzles.
Even though he has tried to design some games with visual puzzles, which he therefore cannot play test. But that's a different thing, I suppose.
Hey, I'm no quitter.
You aren't.
I wanted to explore it if there's a possibility I could use it, but nah.
It didn't work out.
It's not.
So for me, I had to list 3 things because I just can't.
Because she don't like games.
I am much more particular. Will is definitely much more of an omni gamer. I don't really like area control. I don't like auctions. I have tried a lot of different auction games. I still don't like auction. And it's just in general, I don't like negative player interaction. I'm just more for keep the game positive, keep the game going forward, because most negative player interaction I've seen slows the game down, and that's usually a bad thing. All right, Will, this is going to test your memory, because I don't always tell him the new games that we get in. What are the newest games to our collection?
I think they all came in the same package. There was Dice Realm.
Yes.
There was My Farm Shop. And there was Merchants of Magic, a set, a watch, tale.
Yes, that is a very complicated name. And of those 3, we have played Dice Realm several times now, and we've played Merchants of Magic once. And as usual, if you watch me or see my posts on social media under Eurogamer you'll see a lot of what we play usually ends up as something we video in the near future.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Favorite player count?
2.
Yep, 2.
We are rolling with 2.
We are rolling. I mean, it happens to be just generally what we started with, what we're at right now, even though we have enjoyed playing with more people, and we do play with more people online. This is a big part of our relationship, is doing these things together, doing Lego together, doing board games together, making videos together. In fact, when I wrote my note, I wrote the number 2, and then I just put -Will because
it's foreplay.
Wasn't gonna go
it's
there.
Like, hey baby, you want to play a game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sexy.
Sexy indeed. All right, what is your board game pet peeve?
People playing with their phone while playing the game.
I swear, I'm just setting the game up on Board Game Stats. That's all I'm doing.
I didn't say Sarah. I said people playing with their phone while playing a game.
Okay, so it's not always me because he does know that I set that up. And I have learned to save my picture taking more towards the end unless there's something really critical in the middle of the game. But yeah. Anywho.
What's your pet peeve?
My pet peeve is dirty hands. And yes, when we've had people over and if we take a break to eat, I am the one who shouts out to the whole room, don't forget to wash your hands. Yes, I'm that kind of nagging person. I just can't handle it. I've seen it too many times where it just makes me cringe. Yeah, don't touch my games with dirty hands. That's it. Okay, this one's going to be pretty easy, and most of you are probably going to be able to guess without us saying anything. What is our favorite player color?
Considering the fact that I can never play blue.
What? Never?
Never.
Am I just that greedy?
Just that greedy.
I am that greedy.
So I'll go in for red or any red variant.
That's true. He's played pink several times. Yeah, I'm blue. If anybody else is blue, I'm moving their pieces. It's just that simple. So I'm playing blue.
It's just easier for everyone.
It is. It's just generally easier. Okay.
She actually won't touch my pieces if I'm pink, so I will actually gravitate towards pink.
That's a good point. I won't touch them. Pink or purple. Yeah, I will do green, but if someone else is playing blue, that's still not a good thing. So if I'm green and nobody's blue, that works.
Yeah.
Okay. Read the rule book or watch a how to play video.
Neither. I listen to Sarah reading the rule book.
Right, and so therefore, I am reading the rule book to Will. Now, I have started to watch videos before I open a game and read the rules, and that's more just to familiarize myself with the game, so I'm not the one stumbling over the things I'm reading, because there's times where I'm reading it and it's just not clicking in my head. So not usually, but I've started to watching videos.
Yeah. But if I'm reading the rule book, or we're reading the rule book, that usually means we also have the pieces in front of us.
Right.
So
that does make that easier, as we can pause where we're reading, look at the board, or set up the board, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, favorite snack to eat while playing board games?
Well, we don't normally eat snacks.
We don't.
If we are going to have one, I prefer peanut butter M&Ms.
Yeah, some of our friends really got into the habit of bringing over peanut butter M&Ms, and we both really like that. Now, we don't normally stock that into our own house, so if I'm going to eat something, it's usually nuts or trail mix. So, have you ever been to a board game convention, and if so, which ones?
Yes, Origins in 2018.
Yep, we both went. We got to stay with our great friends, Noreen and Owen. They hosted us. They took us around. It was a fantastic time. We were planning to do it again, and the pandemic hit. But before the pandemic hit, I got to go to RinCon in Tucson, Arizona, also in 2018, because I was the guest of honor. I still can't believe I was the guest of honor, honestly. I mean, yes, I do game design, and yes, I guess I'm somewhat on the internet. I guess I still don't quite get my celebrity status, even though our friends Noreen and Owen always say I'm a celebrity and Will's a Lego celebrity, and I'm just like...
Let's just put it, I wasn't invited. So, yeah.
So, yeah, that was an interesting trip. I mean, I really enjoyed myself. It was the first time in a long time that we'd been away from each other. Mm-hmm. So that was challenging, but we got through it, and I did have a really great time, and I felt really honored that they felt I was cool enough to invite. It was a really great little convention. I enjoyed it a lot. Okay, we are moving on to unreleased game that you are most looking forward to.
For me, it would have to be Artisans of Splendid Vale. Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting game in the fact that it's supposed to be open-ended and not a winner-loser type game, but more of a dive in and experience and explore the game. So I'm very excited to see what that actually entails.
Yes, and I was looking through our long list of crowdfunding that we support, and it was really hard to pick just one.
So you didn't?
I did. I finally limited it. Earthborn Rangers, now very similarly, it's a co-op. It's, I think, a bit more open world than what Splendent Vale is going to be. But it has some deck building aspects, and again, that just exploration. I don't know about the win-lose. If there's win-lose conditions, it feels more like that just experience. And I think that's something we're both kind of really interested in, is let's just experience something. A game doesn't need to be won or lost. It just needs to be there to have a fun time. But my second choice was Motor City from Ben and Matt, because I love their roll and writes. They're awesome. What is your favorite thing about the board game hobby?
For me, it's creating and connecting. I like a hobby in which I can actually be involved by, well, doing something in it. And we've designed board games, and in doing so, connected with others. So that whole create, connection, intermixing is what I love.
Yes, I'm very similar. It's the people and the community. I really like, well, connecting. I do agree that I really enjoy the creating too. I don't think I could ever go through any part of my life for very long without creating something. I mean, I've written comic book reviews in the past and other bizarre, not bizarre, but different things, just because I can't just be a consumer. Sometimes I wish I could just be a consumer, but I always feel like I just got to contribute, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Do we open and punch a game right away when we get it, or do we wait until we play it?
We have enough games that we usually wait.
We usually do wait. However, I've been seeing some conversation about sometimes you may not want to wait, mostly to double check that it has all the pieces and nothing is broken or missing. And now that I'm looking, because our unplayed game shelves are right behind the camera, there's some games in those shelves where the companies don't exist anymore. So if anything is missing or broken in those games, we're out of luck.
Or we have to get crafty.
Or wait, we can get crafty though, because we do design games, so we have lots of extra game bits. But yeah, I'm starting to think that might want to start opening some of those to make sure they're complete.
Right.
All right, this is the last, not really a question, but I guess it kind of is. It's a question to us, is other people we would like to see do this challenge as well, this tabletop tag.
For me, I had two people in mind. One was JT from G Club. He used to live in our area, came over board game, and then moved across the country. So I would like to reconnect with him on all these questions. The second is Paula Deming from Things Get Dicey. She is so funny.
Yeah.
And because she's so funny, I have no idea what she takes seriously.
But it would be fun to see her do these questions, whether she does them seriously or funny or both or something else.
Or something in between.
Yes.
I would just find it entertaining to no end.
And for me, I had, I think 3. I'm losing track here, but let's just start through them. All Games, New and Old David. He's a small channel like us, and I always like to give a shout out to others who are trying to grow their channel and grow their audience. And we've tagged back and forth on, supporting each other online. So it'd be really cool to see what David has to say. And 3 Minute Board Games, Jared's a really cool guy. He does board game reviews in 3 minutes, and it's just amazing how much he packs into those. And he does a whole host of other videos too. So it would be cool to get to know him a little bit better too. And I guess I have more than I thought I did. Board Game Blitz, also Ambi and Crystal. They do a great podcast called, well, Board Game Blitz. They also have a YouTube channel that they're starting to get back into. So this would be, I think, interesting content to see on their channel. And Sugar High Score, Stephanie makes awesome cakes in a variety of board game and video game themes. So it would be, great to see what she, has to share about herself and the hobby. And lastly, Salt and Sass Games, Mandy and Suzanne are awesome peeps. I really miss them on the Dice Tower podcast. And so now they've been doing a lot of Twitch streaming and then putting those videos onto their YouTube channel so people can watch them later, because I never seem to be able to catch one of their live streams, just time conflicts and things like that. So that's everything.
Actually, I'm going to throw in one more.
Okay, go for it.
Carl, he is a constant commenter, and I know he does a video, but he's not the type of person to tag himself as to his channel. So Carl, please tag yourself on the bottom of this in the comments.
Or I'll follow up with you and make sure, I guess probably ahead of time, to get what your channel is so we can share it. Because yeah, you've been an amazing supporter and we really appreciate everything you've done to continue to watch our stuff and comment and engage. It means a lot to us, especially as a small starting out channel. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I guess we should kind of wrap up.
Yeah, so that will do it for us here today. We rolled a 12 out of 12. I think we did fantastic.
I think so too.
Pat ourselves on the back, everybody. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with Two, that's TWO. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
And we've been Rolling with Two.